Hi guys, what's up? This is Shubhari from eGadgets for you. Now in this video, I'll show you a complete review of the Micromax Canvas Selfie 2. Now the Selfie 2 is a latest addition in the selfie series from Micromax. As the name suggests, it has a 5 megapixel shooter at the back as well as at the front. But more on that later on. Firstly, the Micromax Canvas Selfie 2 has a 2000 mAh of battery. That is not the greatest at all, but it does have a tendency to last a full working day on medium usage. On high usage, I had to give charge to this particular device twice in a single day. As always, the Micromax Canvas Selfie 2 is also loaded with the latest UI from Micromax, using which you can navigate through to all the apps from the home button, just swiping from left to right. Again, you will find the most important buttons like the call, the camera, the app bazaar, the music and the settings just in a single screen itself. You also have the Google Map, the Google icons and the Play Store over here. Dial pad for the phones is also a great deal. It's clear, crisp and easy to use. The sound quality of the earpiece is a great deal. Calls are distinct, clear enough. Navigating to About Phone under Settings, you will find that this device runs on Android version 5.0, which is Lollipop. Though it is not the latest version of Lollipop, but still the OS is the latest straight out of the box. Storage wise, it offers only an 8 gigs of internal memory, out of which something around 4 gigs is available to the users, which is quite low. Then again, the new features and the new apps that are available from the app stores nowadays, it does not comes in handy with this particular device, as available memory is quite low. You can add a micro SD card that supports up to 32 gigs. It does not support an OTG, so that way you do get a shortage of space in this particular device. Under settings, you will not find any drastic changes or drastic features whatsoever. Like as always, you will find the schedule power and on and off button, so you can on or switch off your device at your desired time if you wish to use that feature. You will find that in this device they give you the Hotstar, the Snapdeal, the Quicker, the Amazon Kindle and the Amazon Store, some of the latest apps, some of the latest implementations already pre-installed from beforehand. So that way you do get some of the entertaining and the useful apps pre-installed in this particular device also. The Micromax Canvas Selfie 2 has a TFT capacitive touchscreen with 16 of color. It supports a resolution of 480 × 854. That is not at all the greatest at the end of the day. It obviously has an IPS panel, so that way the viewing angles are great in this particular device. The brightness, the saturations and the contrast are not at all a great deal or the greatest end of the day, but it looks good to the eyes. The color differences are visible in this particular handset, and obviously the brightness is a tad better in this Micromax Selfie 2. The Antutu benchmark test quite amazingly gives you a figure of 19,815. So considering the specs and considering the price that this particular device comes along with, it is a great score. If we dig deep into the device info, you will find that this particular handset has a Qualcomm chipset that runs on a quad-core processor and is clocked at 1.3 GHz. It only has a 1 gigs of RAM. So that way, these are not at all the greatest features at the end of the day, but still somehow or the other it gets the job done. Even with not so distinct or a fancy processor, the performance of this particular device is quite strikingly very fast. Even when I use the internet to browse through the news, through some of the pictures or stuff like that, it does loads very fast. The IPS panel makes sure that the viewing angles are just great. The pinch to zoom, I have found some minor lags, but that is not at all a deal breaker at the end of the day compared to the price that this particular handset comes along with. Then again, the touch is not that great either. I have not felt it to be a smooth or a buttery feel like to the hand, but then again it does not lags in that department. It does get the job done quite decently. As always, the most striking feature of this particular device is obviously the camera. Now this has a 5 megapixel shooter at the back as well as at the front. Additionally, you get this beauty face mode, the portrait, the landscape and the night mode to shoot pictures with. let me guide you through some of the pictures that I have taken. You will see that it is not at the brightest of the contrast or saturations are not the greatest end of the day, but still the viewing angles of the object that I have shooted using the 5 megapixel shooter at the rear end did come out good. Again, when I use the tap to focus, you will find that the focal region has been highlighted to a great deal. So in direct sunlight or in ample presence of light, it does take beautiful pictures. It will also depict you all the curves, edges of any object, but the camera fails miserably in a low light condition. The flash is not the greatest at the end of the day, so that way pictures tends to get a bit harsh in the low light conditions. But then again, the touch to focus works great. As you can see in this particular picture also, the curves, the edges, and also the color contrast, each and everything came out perfect. The front camera is a delight. As always, it's a 5 megapixel shooter at the front. Obviously, it does took a great selfie, as is quite evident in this particular picture. You will see that the brightness, the contrast, each and everything is just perfect for the front camera. So that way, I must say that the name of Selfie 2 quite suggests to this particular handset. Now, as far as my verdict goes for the Micromax Canvas Selfie 2, this phone is definitely targeted for the lower end sections with a price of around 6,200 INR in India. Now, it has an IPS panel, but not the greatest display at the end of the day. Obviously, the viewing angles are good. It does not lags with the 1 gigs of RAM. Also, it gets most of your jobs done. The battery is also not the greatest. But if I keep aside all these features and just concentrate on the price and the features that comes along with it, I will say that it's a definite thumbs up. But then again, the probable buyers of this particular handset should not be targeted using high-end apps or using high-end games, because that way this device is not the perfect device for you. But if you are just going for a simple Android handset having some of the cool features and also a good camera, then definitely you can opt for the Micromax Canvas Selfie 2. Then again, all the views are my opinion. Let me know your reviews and your views in the comment section below. That's it guys. Please stay subscribed to my channel for more interesting updates from me. Bye for now.